Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
All right, so it's a cash game, 1-3.
1 3
Um,
euros.
yes,
Okay.
and it was really late, already like early in the morning, and the table broke down. It was like a full ring table, 9 players, and then one by one left. So we were only like 3 people left.
Yeah.
And villain in the hand is a good tournament reg. He's a light MTT pro,
Okay.
good solid player. And the other guy is a fish. He's the reason why I stayed at the table.
Okay.
And we were playing 1-3, but everyone straddled always to 6, so that was like a constant button straddle to 6.
Okay.
So hand starts with villain, the good reg, opening to 20 on the button. Sorry. Wait. No, the fish calls on the button.
So is the straddle's under the gun?
No, wait. I got confused. The button was straddle, so the
Okay.
action starts in the small blind.
Okay. So it's a 6 on the button. Okay.
Yeah, the 6 on the button.
Yep.
So villain in the small line makes a 20.
And this is it's still nine-handed?
No, it's three-handed. It's
Oh.
like really late and
Oh, okay. So sorry,
but,
three. That makes more sense. Three-handed. Okay, so he makes
yeah.
it. So we're playing short-handed. V1 to 20 from the small blind. Yep.
Yeah, I'm in the big blind with ace-10 off, and I decided to call.
What are the stack sizes, by the way?
We're pretty deep, so I think the fish is about 500, and villain and I are about like 700 or 800.
Okay. I would say that. I would say that this is probably a 3-bet more often than not. I mean, I understand the fish being
Yeah,
in there.
I also thought the same thing. I thought like I could go both ways.
Because you're
Like
going to
maybe
gain position. Unless the fish is like so crazy, but you're going to gain position here. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things we talked, Conlon and I talked about in our pre-flop podcast, that's if you're a professional scriber, but I might bring some of the stuff in. I don't know. I might cut some parts of it and bring it into podcast over the next few months. Is, even in a full ring game, a lot of people call way too much next to act. Meaning, like, say you get an early position raise or UTG, and like you're UTG1. A lot of people just default call with like suited broadways, or suited connectors. When in fact, like, it gives you a better chance to win the hand if you play a 3-bet or fold strategy from a UTG player next to act, because especially if you got people who squeeze behind you, the positional advantages are so important. Now obviously this is a little bit different, but still I feel like with ace 10 to get position on the guy and it's 3-handed is probably good enough to 3-bet. But it sounds like, okay, so you called.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I have position on the good reg
Right.
who opens because he was in a small blind,
Right.
and the fish is like I have a huge skill advantage, and my thought process maybe was like I didn't want to blow up the pot so much and got 4-bet, and so yeah, I called, and the fish also called
Okay.
on the button.
Yep.
And so the pot is like 60,
Yep.
and flop is king 10-5 rainbow.
Okay.
And well, here's the really interesting part: the reg. Well, the point is, the reg already drank like 4 or 5 beers, and it was like kind of a happy game, and everyone was like, not everyone, but some people were drinking, and he was a bit drunk, but it's not like he did like crazy things. So he puts out a c-bet into a pot of 60, but the c-bet is only €9.
He bets 9 into 60?
It's 9 into 60, and well, so the reason why I pointed out that he was like a little bit drunk is I don't know what if that affects like his c-bet strategy or his overall strategy.
You don't
But
think
did
he like live misclicked, did you? Or something like that?
No, he didn't miss it. He did it like a few hands ago. He did like the same thing, and he was like he did like really things which you like more seeing online. You may sometimes like putting in a bet of like 1/5 pot on the
Right.
turn and then overbetting the river, something like that. And
Yeah, guys feel like they
I
think that
think he had like concepts in mind with his c-bet sizing.
what the okay, he's going to bet, and then that's going to allow people to define their hands against him, and then he's just going to continue. I mean, I look at small bets like this. I mean, if he were to check, you might check here, right, in between with a nut without a guy behind you. So I think
Oh
calling
yeah,
here is probably the play, you
yeah,
know?
I did call,
Okay. Yep.
and third guy the fish folded, so we were
Okay.
heads up.
Hmm.
Pot is now 78,
Yep.
and turn is an offsuit four. Well,
Okay.
I don't know if it's no, it's not offsuit. It brings the backdoor flush draw.
Okay.
I don't know which
I'll
suit
just
is
call it
offsuit.
four diamonds or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now he bets a little bit bigger. He bets 34. So still quite small, but well, bigger than the flop.
Yeah.
And well, I didn't see anything else but call.
I mean, the thing here is that when you start, I mean, I know you say it's the four of diamonds. I would start to look at the distribution of suits. Some guys will continue on when they pick up backdoors. You know what I mean? Things
Yeah.
like that. The sizing on the flop is really strange with the fish in there. I feel like into two people. I understand sometimes that strategy of betting like 1/5 of the pot heads up, but to do it on the flop seems somewhat polarizing. I mean, he bets larger on the turn. If a river
Hmm.
rolls off like not a diamond or something like that, I just don't know. Like, let's say he overbets the river. Like, you have an ace in your hand. Like, is he really doing that with king jack or king queen? Do you know what I mean? Like, bet 9, bet 34, move all,
Yeah.
it's just odd. Anyways, you call. Let's go to the river.
So I call.
Yeah.
The river is a king.
So I'm calculating 144 in the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. River's a king.
140, 146.
Okay.
Yeah, 146, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So the river is a king,
Yeah.
which is, well, on the surface, it looks like a quite good card for me because it removes combinations of like value hands of kings.
Hmm.
And he now bets 110.
Well, the problem here now for you is that a lot of the hands that he might not bet on the river that were top pair and weak kickers, he now has confidence to bet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and it looks like you have a king a lot. You know,
Yeah, but would he really bet like if he has like a trips with a weak kicker? Do you think that he would bet it on the river because it really looks like I have a king?
well, that's the thing. I mean, the lower you play, the lower stakes you play, the more people, and I don't know the level of this guy, but I would say that the lower the stakes that you play, the more the people will just bet their own hand's value, meaning that he won't put that together, or a rec player won't put together that, oh, this king actually doesn't
Hmm.
really change anything. Like if this guy had a king, I'm still beat. They'll just be like, oh, I have trip kings, I'm going to bet. Now it does actually change something in the way that there's less of a chance that you have a king. But yeah, your hand, you look like you have kings in your range here. Whether I would call, I mean, it's just a bluff catcher. It's a weird spot because a lot of people in your situation are going to have a king. Like, say he doesn't have a king and he bets as a bluff. Well, he's not blocking any kings that you could have, and some people might even call down with a 10. So it looks like to me like you're getting about 2.5 to 1 from the pot. So you're getting 3.5 to 1. Or you need to be good here 1 out of 3.5 times. I can't tell you if you are or not. It's probably a player dependent scenario, but that's how I would look at the hand.
Yeah, so my thinking was like, well, first of all, he's a really good player. So
Okay.
he's not a cash player, first of all, but he's like an MTT player. But he's like, I think in the top 10 list on Hand and Mob on the whole Czech Republic list. And he's like, I've seen
That
many,
would
many,
lean
many
me
hands
that
with
would
him.
really lean me towards a fold unless you've seen him do some really bad stuff. If the better the player, the more I fold here, I think.
Really? Because I thought like the better the player, the more of bluffing range he probably has on the river.
Well, no, the better the player, the more bluffing range somebody has on a good run out, on a good board run out or a good scenario. I don't think that this is a good scenario. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I think it depends on the situation. So did you end up calling?
Yeah, my thought process was like, well, I had ace 10, and because the sizing on previous streets was so small, I probably have many tens
Mm.
getting to the river, and I thought like I could fold almost all of them except for ace 10, because like if I have like queen 10 or jack 10, then I block queen jack, which is like the most obvious draw he probably has. Ace 10 is blocking ace king, so blocking some value combos. So I ended up calling, thinking like ace 10 would be the only 10 I will call on the spot.
Because of the blockers?
Yes.
Okay. What did he end up
Well,
having?
yeah, the really interesting part is he ended up having jacks and was value betting.
Yeah, Jackson was value betting. Wow. Well,
Yes.
see, that's interesting
And
in
that's
this.
like when he turned over jacks, I was not, I was expecting like anything but not jacks, like,
Well,
and
I
I
mean,
was kind
I've
of
talked.
blown away.
The other thing too, though, is I've talked about this before. Like the better the player and the more they can depolarize their river betting range for value, the less you can bluff catch. Now, you wouldn't expect this. That's a little bit of a surprise. But
Yeah.
when you're considering bluff catching a player that you know can bet thin, it's a problem because there's a lot of value there. You know what I'm saying? Like in between.
Mhm.
And
But what are you thinking about his line from his perspective? Value betting, like, I mean, like on the surface, it sounds like really crazy to value bet jacks on a king high board for three streets, but it kind of worked.
well, I don't think that he was the king at the end made him value bet. I don't
Yeah,
think that he
of
would have
course,
value
yeah,
bet. It would probably would be a bad value bet if he bet the river if a king didn't pair. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it cuts
I thought
down on
like
the
if the
combos.
king, if there's no king on the river, he probably check folds because he doesn't expect me to value bet like worse or.
Right, right. But you might check it back though. Like say the river is like an offsuit eight, and he checks. I guess you could make your hand look like queen jack, but it's just I don't know. You might check that back. It depends on how he plays a weak king. If you always value bets a weak king, I think maybe three handed you can bet ace ten. But anyways, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
All right,
you.
cool. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.